Good evening and welcome back. Give you guys a little minute to come on. Hope y'all have been doing good since 3 o'clock. If you missed 3 o'clock, we are going to Panama Father's Day weekend. So make certain that you guys go to link.me/mood travel club. That is where you can get all of the details as well as sign up, deposit schedules, all of that fun stuff. But I will give you guys a minute. Make certain you guys are sharing this also. If you are somewhere, you are a person that is looking to move abroad. If you are somebody that knows somebody that's looking to move abroad, make sure that they see this. Share the live. Make certain that anybody that is interested in moving abroad, you're gonna hear some things. You know, I tell you guys why I left with how I narrowed it down and things of that nature. But there's so many other things that are at play here. You guys might or might not. You might know that you guys are actually in a rat race. A rat race is something that is almost designed. I mean, you're constantly moving. You know, but are you getting anywhere? Are you getting anywhere? So we'll get into what it is and why I escaped the American rat race. A lot of people want to know what made you choose Colombia. Why did that interest you? What did you know? Because so many people hear things about Colombia and other places abroad, and they really don't. They really don't know what it's like to live there. They may have heard what it is that goes on. They may have been given information from American media, which I'm not one of those media, but I will tell you that there are things from a better quality of life than it is than it is a scenario where you're looking at America is the best place for me. And I'm not saying that some people are going to look at this and say, "Oh yeah, go leave." That's fine. There's plenty of people in America that aren't going to leave. I'm not speaking to the ones or trying to convince the ones that aren't aren't looking to leave. This is for the people that are actually tired and ready to go. There's 1,000 reasons. We want to get into some of them why people are looking to leave. But I think the straw for me that broke the camel's back was I realized I was in an American rat race. I would make more money, and you guys have probably been in the same situation. And I talked about this the other day, like, and most people don't get these kinds of raises. But let's just take for example, if somebody said, okay, going into 2025, we are so happy about your work that we are actually going to give you a raise. We're going to give you $10,000. We're going to give you $10,000 extra per year. Wow, I get $10,000 extra per year. It's a nice round number. That sounds great, right? Well, there's 12 months in the year. So automatically, there's going to be less than $1,000. But then when you take off taxes and everything else, let's say you're at an extra $600 a month. So you say, yeah, if I had extra $600 a month, that may take over this bill, that may take over this bill. That's good. I got to keep moving. Got to keep going. Well, one, at a $600 a month clip of actual take home money, it's going to be very hard to actually go really, really, really get ahead unless you do something specifically. But even more so, the one thing that I realized in looking to escape the American rat race, I realized, hey, I might get a $600 per month raise, but the grocery bill is going to go up. The gas bill is going to go up. When I go to renew my rent, that might be $200 more. I might be getting charged more for my utilities. So did I get a $600 raise where, excuse me, I'm still paying the same exact bills and I have the exact same money? I have that extra $600 because my bills stayed the same. If you guys are in America, you know that that likelihood is not very likely at all. So you guys are looking in the scenarios and trying to figure out, hmm, is this sustainable? Can I keep doing great at my job, getting increases in raises at a slower, much, much slower pace than what is happening in the United States as far as inflation? Now, you guys are in a scenario where the T word is getting thrown around. Now this I left 2 years ago, so this was before there was even a T word. I already realized there were some things that I was just no longer comfortable with. I was no longer comfortable with. I was no longer comfortable with these things, and I was like, I gotta go. But you guys stayed. So if you're in a position now where it's like you're looking to leave, you already have the $100 bag of groceries. You guys already are got comfortable with you and your children learning to be okay, not okay, but learning to cope with the inevitable of America, mass incidents. It's just at this point, it's another day, and none of these things have to do with how the world works. However, America gives you the ability to believe that that is exactly how it is. So I looked at this and I'm like, I gotta figure something different. I can't keep going at the rate that I'm going, as far as spending more time, more energy to get away, to get the things that I needed just for survival. Never mind vacation stuff, never mind nice clothes, nice cars. You know, at this point, living in a safe environment is a luxury that many cannot afford, even though everybody wants to. These were all things that I had to literally consider. So I looked at, we get into, originally why I left. These were all of the things that were weighing on me. Now, as you may differ, you might have children. So you might say, I don't want my children growing up in this America. That's relative to who you ask what this America looks like. But I will tell you that so many people are considering this now because there's so many reasons. It's not just one reason. It's not one reason why you could possibly look to leave. The rat race is just one of the biggest ones, one of them. But there are so many more, and we have to literally put ourselves into a scenario where we're saying, hey, what are we willing to deal with? Are we still willing to deal with what it is that we got comfortable with? And they actually told us when the first time it happened that this is unprecedented. Well, the precedent has been set. So what are we looking at? And my apologies, this like bright camera is in the back. But those were the reasons that I left. That was the reason. The American rat race, the ever consistent situation, possibly of police brutality. I know so many people that grew up before they were even able to drive a car, and their parents were telling them how they needed to interact with the police should they ever get behind the wheel. These kids were 10 years old. I grew up in a house with three boys and a girl, and there was literally a scenario where this is what we were being told. My brothers are 4 years and 6 years older than me, but I was 10 years old hearing this before I could even touch the pedals. So these were things that were weighing on me. And there's things that weren't a part of America now that once again we got comfortable and now we're used to it. Like, what are you talking about? Never mind $100 bag of groceries, because that was very quick that came, and next thing you know, it got real interesting really quickly. But what about the fact that they literally said, I know so many people are health conscious. We've got so many vegetarians and vegans that are, becoming, because the food quality in the United States is no longer something that you might want to put in your body, let alone a child that has to develop under this food. So you've got so many people considering this, and it's like now everybody's used to the fact that, hey, the FDA says we've got some lab grown food, and if you guys are okay with that, which we've already passed the law, it's perfectly fine. Never mind the fact that the food is at a premium. Sherelle, the parent that I had on the other day, she talked about, living in America is like paying a premium for low grade things, low quality everything, and paying a premium for it because you're in America. So maybe one of these topics, maybe all of these topics are literally, there's a decision factored into me for certain, but maybe one or all of them are the reasons why you are considering this. Maybe this is why you've been watching longer than 30 seconds or a minute. She's like, hey, this guy might be onto something because I thought I was the only one that was thinking this way. We're talking. I got TikTok on. We're talking about relocation towards TikTok. why people will want to go on a relocation tour and leave. That is why. Now, when I get down to why I relocated to Colombia, many people will go from TikTok to terminal, which is the worst thing you can do with no research and no actual homework, and say, I'm going to pack up all of my things and relocate. You know why? Because at this point, if you stay through the pandemic, if you have adverse reactions regarding Trump, you're now facing your second term, and the first term didn't make you leave. None of the things that were going on during the pandemic made you leave. None of the things that have been going on the last 100 years, when given the opportunity, made you leave. But now you're ready to go. So you might be at a situation where you're like, I'm actually just about to just go. Like, I'll figure it out on my way down. Some people willing to jump out of the plane and figure it out on their way down. And I will say, you don't have to do that. I'm here. I bring on people that know what they're talking about when it comes to relocation and everything else. But you have to do some legwork. So when I decided, okay, I've got to move, but I still need to make money. Now, here's the thing. I have already been working remotely. I already work for myself. So a matter of how do I make money was not a concern for me. It was a concern for me because I was already doing this. My entire lifestyle was remote. I just packed up and going wherever it is that I wanted to. But so many of you guys aren't in that situation right now, and you have to think about how are you going to make money. There are other communities that I hear these. For me, they hear like horror stories of people saying, "Oh, I got $5,000 saved, and I'm just gonna go move and figure it out when I get there." And I'm like, that is insane. That is insane. That sounds something a 15-year-old on the Disney Channel would do. I'm not saying that people don't do it. What I'm saying is, when you talk about probability and your likelihood of success when moving abroad, staying abroad, having a good time abroad, you're not living in a probable possibility by giving yourself lowered minimums. Lowered minimums. That's what you guys are at right now, lowered minimums. So we talk about this, and we have to literally get into why I moved, why I came to Colombia, because I knew that I still needed to be on Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So many of you guys are on TikTok and seeing these countries. Bali is a big one. Bangkok, Thailand. I'm seeing a lot of travelers, black travelers, people. Thailand and Bali. And I'm like, nah, they're really cheap when you get there. Yeah, nah. But if you have to work on a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 schedule, and you are operating a day ahead, ask yourself before you go pack yourself, what kind of life are you going to be living when the sun is up because you need to work overnight and you are also a day ahead? You don't believe me? Go look at what time it is right now in Bali and get back to me. Go look at what time it is right now in Bangkok if you can get back to me. Consider that. Relocation tours. This is all about relocation tours. TikTok, they're on my ass tonight about apparently not talking about relocation tours. But you can't just say, "Hey guys, come on a relocation tour to Medellin, Colombia, and it's going to be the best thing ever." Now we're going to talk about that, but you don't even know why. You don't even know why. So many of you guys are looking to just drag your bag to the airport and say, "I put all my stuff in here." And the guy I saw on TikTok said that it was going to be lit. It was good. I mean, people are having fun. He didn't tell you anything. He told you that you can get a cheap place. He didn't tell you what neighborhood. He didn't tell you what's the difference between the different neighborhoods. He said that you can get a bottle for $40. Yeah, but where can I go? There's a difference between the grocery store and the local market. What is going to be your preference? How do you know? Now I gotta back up, but I wanted to make sure because I do have TikTok on here, and sometimes I get a little weird about some things. But all of this stuff is relevant to relocation and why you would actually want to move and what you need to know before you go. Because I knew that I still needed to work, and I still needed to work on a time frame where once I got done work, I could enjoy myself outside. What am I going to do if I work 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.? Just because in order to make money, no matter how cheap it is, you still need to make money. So I chose Colombia because now that narrowed down how many places I was going to go. So many of you guys are looking to go to Ghana, to relocate to Ghana. Shout out to them. Shout out to my boy Drew that's out there. Went to Morehouse with him. Ghana is awesome. Ghana also is 5 hours ahead right now. So he may not be watching this because he's probably got, well, no, it's almost Christmas. So, but on a normal Tuesday, he probably would not be watching this. He like, I got kids. I'm about to go to sleep. You know why? Because if it's 7:05 in Eastern Standard Time, it's 1 a.m. in Ghana. So many people are ready to go. I get it. But think, think, think before you actually go, because don't live this fantasy life. You aren't on vacation. You are looking to relocate to a real place that you have to integrate with, be a part of the community. You cannot just be the only guy walking around at 3 a.m. because it's 5 p.m. in the United States. What? So I moved to Medellin because of that. Because I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to go to Mexico. Mexico, from a moving out of the United States perspective, it was still cheaper moving from South Florida, but it wasn't as cheap. And one of the biggest factors for me was I didn't want to move anywhere where they used US dollars. You guys come down here as waving a US dollar like it's some badge of honor. Like, I've got USD. And somebody's like, so what? I don't want that. Whatever the value is, I got to go to somewhere that somebody's going to make money, and maybe it won't even be the value of what it is you try to give it to me as. Never mind, you've sent me on a mission to have to go get local currency because that's what we're using. I didn't want to go nowhere where the US dollars, because US dollars means US prices, and US prices means I could be putting myself in a different place and still being fluctuating with the American rat race, the cost of the things. So I had to think about this. You got to think about this. When it comes to relocation, these are all things. Once you determine what was the straw that broke your camel, you got to think about where you're going to go. What actually are you aligned with? What are you leaving, and what are you looking to gain? So many of you guys are willing to run without knowing where it is that you're going or what it is that you're willing to give up, because you want to give up the cost of things. You want to give up the police brutality possible. You want to give up mass incidents. You want to give up those things. I got you. I got you. But what do you want? What do you want? And also, what are you willing to give up of America? So many of you think you guys can relocate out of America and take everything that you love and leave all the bad stuff in America. And let me tell you, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. You can't take America with you. So you're going to have a real hard conversation with yourself and say, I'm willing to give this up. I'm willing to leave this behind. Is this actually serving my life in a better capacity? I bet you it's not when you really think about it. But right now, when you immediately have a knee-jerk reaction, you're going to literally say, no, I need all this stuff. I can't relocate without taking, this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. We're all humans, I still need my little salad dressing. So got a box of them coming. I got some hot sauce coming, So I'm not talking like those kind of things. I'm talking about American expectations. Because if your decision to move is not willing to release American expectations, your relocation is going to go horribly. And I say that with a smile. And I say that with a guarantee. Because you want to drag what you do no longer want in your life somewhere else and make it their problem. Oh, I thought it was going to be like this when I got here. And why did you think that? Who told you that? You did with your American self? So many of us, and I'm talking to us, so many of us travel not realizing that outside of America, we are given a privilege that we aren't afforded inside of America. And you don't even realize how crazy some of us go outside looking and traveling and have this privilege on us that America had. And we know what we go through in America, but you don't know what you look like bringing America with you on a resort into another community. So narrowing down where you got to go also comes down to narrowing down what it is you're leaving, what it is you're looking for, and what it is you're willing to give up to have a better life. Because you cannot go to the next level with 25 pounds of America's baggage on either side of you. You just can't. They don't allow that much. The mental baggage of it is all. You're still going to have troubles with that. Shout out to my boy AJ. We were in the bowling alley, and I heard some screams. There was a loud place. I heard some screams. And I was like, yo, you heard that? He's like, Yeah, they over there having fun. Like nobody's about to start. Like he knew what I was talking about because we done been through the same things, and I had American baggage on me that was heavier than I wasn't even willing to acknowledge it, and I was out somewhere where these things don't happen, and was in a scenario where I actually had to think about that, and then check myself and say, "There go you carrying that American baggage." So I'm not a perfect person. I'm not talking to you guys like I'll never do. No, 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 no. I'm giving you guys awareness because moving abroad is and should be it should be an experience for you that is internal, spiritual, physical, life changing. If it's not life changing, then you have done it wrong. Go back into your bubble, please. Save the rest of us. And I seriously say that, because I tell people, when you get abroad as a black person. Now, if you're not black, I'm not excluding you. I'm just talking to some specific people. But often we don't get the feeling of being a part of the American stuff. Some people do. Some people do. I'm not saying that, but I know a lot of my friends and family are like, I'm American, but I'm not about to put on any red, white, and blue. I'm not about to. I mean, I'm a Phillies fan. That's why most out red, white, and blue. But it's just my local team's colors. But I'm not about to fly an American flag out of my front of my house. Let everybody know I'm a proud one. Not saying that some people don't do that. I'm just saying that like not a lot of people are big time on Olympics because someone's bunch of us running. We're about to win. Shout out to all my Olympians. But when you get out abroad, you get a unique scenario that you wake up because there are a huge amount of Afro Colombians here, and you don't realize that you have a privilege, and then you gotta backtrack and get your privilege together. But you don't realize that you have a privilege until you leave, and then they treat you like an American. Oh, got a blue passport. Like, right this way, right this way. A lot of times you'll run into that, and you'll be like, is is this is what feeling like back at home like it's like you run into that. You run into also a scenario where you've got to realize that you're going to run into people like you that have so many similarities and so many things to teach you. But if you don't speak language, if you're not even open to any of these things, you're not going to be able to get any of this experience that we're talking about here. Any of this positive stuff that is going to be the reason why your life changes from moving abroad. You're not going to get any of that. You're still in a situation where you're just so I know a lot of people are reflecting on who's no longer